Let's see what she's wearing in this video. It's called The Complete Truth About How Other People See You. So let's check it out.
Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I'd like to welcome you into the fam. So guys, we're going to get straight into this juicy, precise, and super personal pick a card to tarot reading, which is going to reveal to you how others view you. So if you've ever wondered what strangers think about you when they first meet you, this is the perfect prediction for you. And I hope you all can appreciate my directness, my honesty, and the fact that I'm not going to hold back any information that
Don't hold
this
back
has for you. So if this is the first time that you're receiving a tarot reading, don't panic. It is very simple. All you need to do is pick one of these 4 groups, then scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section. Click the corresponding timestamp of the group of your choice, and you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant portion of this video where you get to figure out precisely how strangers view you. So now let me introduce you to the 4 groups that I've got prepared for you. Group number 1 corresponds to the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Tarot deck, as well as the Black Obsidian Crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Below the Surface Oracle deck, as well as the Carnelian Crystal. Group number 3 corresponds to the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, as well as the Jade Crystal. And group number 4 corresponds
with the WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard, you get a round-trip companion voucher every year.
And group number 4 corresponds
to
the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle, as well as the Citrine Crystal. But as already mentioned, all these timestamps can be found below in the description box. And if you're looking for unique oracle decks or tarot decks or even crystals, check out my online store, bowlife.com. The Below the Surface Oracle, for example, and the Pastel Journey Tarot, which I will be using throughout these readings. These are decks that I have authored and self-published. They come with guidebooks, so if you love tarot and oracle decks and want to add these to your collection, know that everything ships worldwide straight from where I reside in Switzerland. So I will now give you a little moment of privacy to meditate on these 4 groups. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need to, and pick whichever one of these groups that you intuitively feel drawn towards. So I'll speak to you in a second.
Nice music. I don't know.
Alright, so by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups.
Let me just get to it. Alright. There it is.
Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading about how others see you and what people think about you when they first meet you. My name is Vanessa, your favorite psychic and tarot reader here on YouTube, and I'm going to be very upfront, direct, and honest with you about how others view you. Now, you chose the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, as well as the Jade Crystal. I'll first do a little close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is a crystal that is known to bring you good fortune, luck, and abundance, which may be intuitively why you felt drawn to it, but maybe you just also loved the jade because it is physically very beautiful as well. Now let's move into your reading with the Pastel Journey Tarot, which is the second deck that I've ever published. I love this deck so much. I'm obsessed with it, and it gives us such accurate answers. I see here within the Ace of Wands and the Two of Swords that others view you as someone who is very creative, someone who isn't afraid to stand out and be different, and also stand up for a cause. And the Two of Swords here shows me that people also see you as someone very open-minded. So you are never the type of person who already makes up their mind about another human being. You're very open-minded, you give people chances, and you like to form an opinion based on your own experience and based on the type of experience that you have with another person. So if there's a situation where you've heard rumors about another person and those rumors are negative, you don't immediately form that opinion of the person in question. You want to meet them and get to know them by yourself, and then you will form your own opinion about whether that is true or not, because you treat people the way you want to be treated. You give people the benefit of the doubt the way you want to receive the benefit of the doubt. And the Ace of Wands shows me here that there is some strong fire sign energy within you, where you maybe have
lots of passion, lots of fire,
or your Mars, maybe also your Mercury, where you're a very clear communicator, you're creative, you're enthusiastic, you're passionate, and when you want to do something, even if you're the first one to do it in your family or in your environment, you'll do it. You're not afraid of standing out. You're not afraid of being a leader or being the one who tries out something that others thought to be impossible, because to you, you think at least you tried. Now, within the King of Wands, I can see some real boss energy. Whether you
I'm
identify
the
as male or
boss.
female, everyone's welcome on this channel, but I want you to know that others view you as having some very strong masculine energy, as well as the suit of wands corresponds to the element of fire. It also has this phallic symbol, which means this masculine type of symbol. As you can see here in the King of Wands, we've got someone who is self-assured, who is confident, someone who probably does not just give up very easily, and someone who also knows their worth, someone who is inspiring, charismatic, bold, and also very forceful when they need to be.
Bold
That is how
and
others view you. Now, group 3, if that is not how you view yourself, then know that there is a discrepancy between how the public sees you and others view you and how you see yourself, and that's okay. And this reading may just help you become more aware of some things that you didn't know or you didn't see about yourself. Next up in the Six of Wands, others view you as someone who is very giving, very generous, someone who wants to see others win. That's what the Six of Wands
winning.
is representative of. Others view you as not only a generous and philanthropic person, but also someone who goes the extra mile to do kind things, who isn't afraid to forgo some personal desires and pleasures in order to be there for others and in order to set a good example. So you are viewed by strangers as a very giving type of person who may also be prepared to give multiple chances when you feel like it's appropriate. Now, the earthworm, and if you are not into these type of creatures, I want you to know, group number 3, this is actually a very important animal, and I want you to just give it a chance. I want you to not judge it. Just as we spoke about, you form your own opinions once you get to know the facts. The earthworm is a very important component of keeping soil healthy. A lot of people don't see this work that the earthworm does. A lot of people
They're also
aren't
good
even
for
aware
fishing.
of how important this living being and creature is to the health of the soil and therefore our planet. And I want you to know here that others also see you as an underdog in many instances. You are the type of person who helps when nobody is looking, who does the right thing when no one else is there. And the earthworm shows me that you are more important than you let on. So others view you as someone who is very humble. Now, you may have an important role, or you may eventually be a manager or a CEO or have your own business and lead a big team, but that's never the type of vibe or the type of feeling that you give off. This feeling of self-importance is something that doesn't exist with you, group number 3. You feel like you are just like everyone else. You're very humble, you're very down to earth, as the earthworm explains and communicates here within your psychic reading. And it just shows that you're not afraid to take matters into your own hands. You never feel like there's any job or task that is beneath you. So even if you're running a huge business and, for example, let's say the entire cleaning staff for some reason can't come in, you will roll up your sleeves with everyone else, with every other employee, and even stay longer if you need to clean the space or the office or whatever needs to be done until the situation is rectified and you can find new cleaners, hire new cleaners, or they can come back. Just to give you an example of what is meant here within the earthworm and how others view you. You are a team player. You are exceptional, but you don't make others feel like they are less than or beneath you. The unicorn shows me that others view you as someone who is very rare and very different. If this isn't the first time that you're on my channel, then you know that I call all of my beautiful subscribers and babies of the zodiac my beautiful little unicorns, and you definitely give off the impression of being truly one in a million, of being truly very unique, truly very different, and something unlike the rest. The dolphin shows me that you've always got good vibes going on, or at least that's the type of impression that you make, group number 3. Others see you as someone who is fun, who is pleasant, who is positive, and who always sees the glass as half full instead of half empty. And that is a very important mindset to have when you are a leader, or when you're the type of person who is a creative that is spearheading ideas, or that is kind of
It's always
putting
better to
themselves
have
in
it
a leadership position
full, the
and
glass
leading
full
big
and empty.
projects where the outcome is unknown, and really the only thing you can lean on is belief that it will work out. So this is the only way that others can really rely on you. The stingray shows me that your backbone is something that others really love and cherish within you. Others feel safe around you. Other people feel like when you say something, you are about it. You're not just talking about it. When you say you'll do something, you follow through, group number 3. And this strong backbone is something that others appreciate, and some might even fear. Because when you're dealing with narcissists, or you're dealing with people who look for victims to emotionally kind of manipulate or use, they are afraid of people with a backbone like yours. So I see that you have this kind of repellent in you. Of course, there will always be one or another narcissist or kind of difficult person who thinks that maybe they can tame you, or maybe they can break that backbone down. There will always be that type of individual, but
never.
as a whole, you kind of have this BS repellent. You kind of have this vibe about you that tells others that you will not be pushed around, and where others can sense, hey, this person is not to be played with. This person is not someone who will tolerate disrespect. And that is where I could see that some people find frustration in that. People who are used to getting what they want, and then when they meet you and you treat everyone as an equal, that frustrates them.
That's
so
right.
Think, for example,
Take
you're
that.
working in a big corporation and you're doing the hiring. You're the type of person who is in a leadership role, and there is a worker who comes from a very affluent background, and they feel like they should get the promotion over a normal person, or someone who comes from a lower class background. And they will feel very frustrated when they cannot use their family's power or money to sway you or convince you, and you are simply going to
sounds like the
award
Soviet
the
regime.
job, the promotion, the
They
position,
love
the power
doing
to the
that.
person who deserves it most, not the person who just comes from money, or who just comes from a situation where they've always been given everything or handed everything on a silver platter. You do not follow those rules. You've got this strong sense of self and backbone to do what is right when no one is looking, and you are very passionate about doing what's best for any given situation, whether that is for a business, hiring and firing the best person, not the person who talks the loudest or comes from the most well-known family or background or best school. You want the best person for the job. You're very passionate in relationships as well when it comes to doing what's best for the relationship, not just what your person wants. So in a relationship, if someone is pressuring you to, for example, just let something go, but you know it hasn't been discussed, it hasn't been worked on, it hasn't really been worked through, you're not just going to say, okay, fine, let's let it go. You're going to make sure that things are dealt with. And I definitely see that you're passionate about doing the right thing, and others can sense that, they can see that, they can feel that, they experience it. And the only people who will feel frustrated or have an issue with this passion for justice that you have within you are people who do not benefit from that, right? People wish that you weren't so morally on this high ground or in a place of a lot of integrity, because they want to take advantage of that. So people who can't take advantage of you, they don't like this, and those are the type of people you don't want in your life anyways, group number 3. Next up, we've got the Ambon damselfish. I can see that others view you as someone who is opinionated, who is very vocal, and whose voice matters. You've got a lot of respect from people. You may not even notice this, but people do really respect you. People do really look up to you. You inspire more individuals than you know, group number 3. And don't be afraid to use your voice even more, to express your opinions to a higher degree than you have been up until this point, because it really does matter. You really do have some really great stories to tell and some inspiring words to share. The Mandarin fish shows me here that you're the type of person that others can see also has a very gentle side. You also have a side
I
to you
like
that
to be
allows you to
gentle.
take steps back. So if someone makes a mistake, you are the type of friend, partner, and boss who is not going to scream at the person. You're going to take some steps back and say, how did this happen? How did this come to be? Even if the person did something wrong. If you are dealing with someone who has lied or cheated or stolen, you're not immediately ambushing them. You're the type of person who knows how to be gentle in the situation and to take steps back and figure out what pushed this person to this point and how can we avoid this moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean that you will allow for another person to pull the wool over your eyes and you will allow them to walk all over you or do this again. But you want to find out what the issue is so it can be prevented. So that if anything like this happens again with the same person or another person, they feel comfortable enough to come to you and speak about it. I see here within the deep sea blind shrimp that you've got a lot of trust from other people. Others view you as very trustworthy, and you use all of your senses, especially your sixth sense, especially your intuition. You know when something is up, you know when something is wrong, and you will bring it
I
up.
use
You
my
will use your
spidey
voice. You will do
senses.
it gently. You will do so in a way that doesn't ambush others and doesn't scare others, but nevertheless, you will and doesn't scare others, but nevertheless, you will speak up. And I see here within the black tip reef shark that you are very intelligent, very quick, and witty. That's how others see you, because you also understand when to stay in shallow waters, because sometimes superficial is enough. There are certain people where you could probably talk for a lifetime to try to help them to do better, to be better, to not lie and deceive or do things that aren't kind, or to just simply respect you and your boundaries. There are people with whom you can discuss the issue forever and they will not understand because they don't want to, or because it doesn't serve them, or because they're narcissistic, because they have their own thing going on. And you know that you can't influence that, and you're not going to waste your time on those relationships when it comes to trying to fix anybody. You know when to stay in shallow waters. You can move on like that very quickly to someone who is actually going to make use of you taking the time and energy to try to help them out and fix the situation. So that makes for you actually being someone who is very skillful when it comes to people skills, when it comes to managing people, handling people, dealing with people, because you don't waste time in situations where there's no point in you investing a lot of time and energy. Let's add a few more cards into your reading, shall we? We've got the Five of Pentacles. So I can see here that others really underestimate how much of a plan you actually have for yourself financially. I see that people think that you are maybe a bit more clueless than you really are when it comes to the plans you have moving forward. See that certain people definitely underestimate how much money that you make or what you're capable of financially, because the Five of Pentacles shows me that you're not a super flashy person. You're the type of person who would rather have money in their account than just logos all over their life. And the Five of Pentacles definitely shows me here that others think you are very humble and are maybe not as financially stable as you currently are and will be moving forward, because of this mindset of not buying things just to impress people you don't really care about. I see here within the Ace of Swords that others view you as somebody who is very innovative, who is very intellectually gifted, someone who is very educated. Now, whether that is true or not, only you know that, group number 3, but you make this impression of being very intelligent, of being someone who knows what they're talking about. Now, that could come from confidence, from your backbone, but also from actual skill level, as you're not the type of person who is cocky for no reason. I mean, you are never cocky, group number 3, but you can be confident in situations when you know you've done the work and you know what you're talking
I'm a
about.
cocky
And
kind
at
of
the same time,
confident.
you can remain humble, even when you know what you're talking about, and even when you know better than maybe someone else, because you know when to give others the opportunity to learn and to have their moment. And this is something that makes you very likable and that makes you a leader that others want to support and others trust. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. Please do leave a unicorn emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you received your reading and that you're part of group 3. I'd like to thank you so much for being here and spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions.
Thanks again, Vanessa.
Hello, group
There's another
number
one.
4, and welcome
Cousins
to
and
your
friends.
prediction about how
See you
others see
soon.
you and what people think about you when they first meet you. This reading is all about things